Hi, I hope you're doing well. We have a full moon happening. It's going to be happening on August 9th, 2025. It's going to be happening at 17 degrees Aquarius. This is also going to come at the same time as what people are calling the Lion's Gate portal or something like that. Now, that comes every year, and I hear a lot of discussion about it. And I usually can't say that I pay much attention. They talk about portals and those types of things, and I support whatever people have as a belief. But again, it's not been something that's ever been on my radar, except for this year, because it seems to align at the same time or sort of roughly the same time because it says that it's supposed to be around August 8th. And this full moon is happening on August 9th. But there's something bigger than that. I sort of went over it in the monthly overview, and it really is that alignment of Mars, Saturn, and Neptune, which seems to bode something happening. In a global perspective, what I see is something like a conflict finally ending, a ceasefire, or something major happening in an ongoing conflict. That's what I see as potential. But from a personal aspect of people in the world or anybody who's watching this video, it is marking a time when potentially you can be seen for the talents that you have. An overnight success would people would say something like an overnight success, although you've always been working behind the scenes. So it seems like a confluence of energy, especially when we have this full moon happening, a culmination happening right at that particular time. And when you look at the actual body graph for this full moon, you'll see that that configuration is all within this full moon, which again, I hadn't known about that because I hadn't sort of looked at the full moon and the new moon for the month ahead when I made the video for the month of August. So when I saw that, I thought, wow, that is significant. So I thought I would just mention that. And if people do full moon intentions, then this might be the time to do it. Now, of course, because it is going to be a full moon, that means that we have the potential to have sort of extension of this energy in the global frequency a little bit longer because whenever we have a moon phase happening or sort of a full moon or a new moon happening at a particular time, it can go on for a couple of weeks or until the next moon phase, which would mean the next new moon happening on August 23rd. So that's something I wanted to say right off the bat, just in case somebody watched for the first 1 or 2 minutes. I wanted to say that this is actually a very interesting full moon that really might change someone's life in the long run, and let's see how it plays out. And the other perspective is that we do have definition within this full moon, which makes it even more potent and more powerful in the global collective. So what we have is the throat center activated, but also the G center. So the 31-7 channel is activated. And not only is it activated, we have 31 line 3 exalted by Mercury, and we also have gate 7 line 4 activated, and that is exalted by the sun. So we have exaltation of global leadership, which could bode to some important things happening. And when we look at this type of leadership, we look at the sun in gate 7 line 4, and again, this is a roll gate, so it shows how your profile or how people express their leadership style based on their profile. So for gate 7 line 4, it would be for the fourth line profile. So somebody who has a 4-1 or a 4-6 profile would be sort of this type of leadership. And so what this basically is talking about, this is the line of the abdicator. And when you think about an abdicator, you think, well, that doesn't sound like a very beneficial or good thing, but this is basically saying that at some point in our lives, there might be jobs, there might be relationships, there might be something that shows up in our life that suddenly says, okay, this is the end. I can't be in this anymore. I have to grow, or it's no longer for me. I've hit a wall, or there's something that no longer serves you, and you decide to move on into something new. And this is basically what this energy is bringing. It is a culmination to say that it is potentially time for you to move into a new leadership role. Now, the leadership that comes from the 731 doesn't always have to be something that's in a job or work related or something like that. It could even be taking leadership in your life. Maybe you've allowed other people to sort of sway you into going here, going there. And this is a moment where you're saying, I'm going to sort of go on my own path and do what I feel is right as opposed to people telling me what to do. So this is saying that you will step down because it no longer serves you or something no longer serves you. So you're stepping away from it. Alternatively, it can also play out a different way, and that is where you have the support. You may be questioning your role, not because you want to leave something, not because you want to leave a relationship, a job, something that's important to you. It's not because of that. It is this question of, do I have the support that I need from the team members? Do I have the support I need from my boss? Do I have the support I need from my partner? So this is basically where you find out that you actually do have the support. People still want you to be within that relationship, that job, or something like that. And it could also be almost a bump up where people are saying, okay, we really want you to sort of be in this role. So there's two ways it could play out, but both ways are beneficial because it's something that you feel is right for you. And that is the bottom line. There's a beneficial energy to step down or to step up in leadership and decide what feels good for you. Now, with Mercury still in retrograde, it is a time to just wait for a couple days before you make any major decisions. So, I mean, the full moon is happening on the 9th, and so Mercury goes direct, I believe, on the 11th of August. So, no worries of having to wait too long before you can move on. Why does this abdication or stepping up or stepping down to leadership matter right now? Well, it does matter a lot because later in the month we have Jupiter moving into gate 53, and this is where we have brand new beginnings, as well as Venus. Venus will be in there before that. So we have Venus in gate 53. That's going to be from the 13th of August right until the 18th. And Jupiter will be entering gate 53 right at that specific time, right around that same time. It goes into gate 53 on the 18th, and it will stay there until September 17th, where we're getting into brand new beginnings. Now, keep in mind, there's another place where we have just before we have Pluto moving back into gate 60, we have the 4130 channel. It's going to be in play as well, which is bringing almost a double whammy. So we have gate 53 in play, then we have the 4130, which makes a huge energetic push for a brand new beginning. So this is opening the door for something brand new to show up in your life. And we know with gate 41, this is not a small beginning. This is something huge. And it will take time to sort of gain momentum and to move into what it will be in the long run. But it is a big door to do something pretty big. And when you are sticking with things that no longer serve you, maybe the things that I talked about, the leadership or a job or a relationship or something that you are a leader within, a leader of your life. When you are abdicating something that no longer serves you, it makes space for something else. And that is the key. Making space for something else. If you really want something different in your life, this is a time to make space for that. It's only when we have sort of a space of energy that we can have more things coming into our life. That's what they basically said. They say it's the more that you have open, the more energy can flow into it. But if it's already filled up with something, it's like you can't really fill anymore. So this is really asking us to decide what we no longer want, what no longer serves us. Let it go. If it's something different that you want to step up into something, that's another way you can do it as well. And with gate 53, that you can also use that energy to your benefit as well, because gate 53 can be a beginning that is on top of a beginning. So in other words, it is like the spiral of life where you get back to where you feel like is the beginning again. You're upgrading or up leveling in some way, and that is the big key. So this is a time to take stock, especially where we're just at the last bits of Mercury retrograde. Take stock, decide what you want for your life going forward, and make a decision that serves you, because this is you deciding for you, being a leader in your life, and deciding what works for you and what really doesn't. And from a global perspective, we could see leadership in focus. And this is where we're looking at leaders and putting them under a microscope, because the 731 channel, or the 317 channel, whatever way you want to say it, is basically a channel that is a democratic channel, and it is based on logic. It's logical leadership. If you're not doing what you advertise, then people will come for you. And so, in the big scheme of things, we might see a leader abdicate because they know they are no longer fit to serve as a leader, and they know that they're not giving the best for their people, and they don't have the support of the people. Or alternatively, it could be a leader being pushed out of their position because they no longer have support. And you could also have a leader who is gaining a lot more support, and maybe somebody who's getting pushed up to be a leader because they have more support to be in a leadership role. So it could be all of those types of things. But a lot of times with the abdicator, it is somebody who is saying, okay, I'm not the person for the job anymore, so I'm going to step back and let somebody else take care of this or do this instead of myself. But then you also have another leader, and this is Uranus in gate 20, line 2. This is called the dogmatist. And this is talking about a leader who brings a very narrow path and tries to lead everybody down that very narrow path. And this is the only way to do things. And we can't do anything any other way than the way I decide. And yet we know that that is not the way of leadership. And especially with a 31/7 in channel in play, it's basically saying that leadership that is for the people, that is of the people, if the people are not being listened to, because that's the way democratic or logical leadership works. If you're not being listened to and the leaders just going about their own business, doing their own thing, then that is when they start to lose support. And that is what we could see. So we could see this beneficial leader who's making the decision to do the right thing. And then we have another leader who's basically trying to lead people down a very narrow path and my way or the highway type of thing. And they probably won't get away with what they think they're going to get away with, that type of leadership, because people are starting to get more critical about it. And as we have Mars move into gate 18 later on in the month, that's going to make people even more critical about yang energy, aggressive energy, what they call it strongman energy, trying to tell everybody what to do, and that could cause a little bit of fracture within that type of leadership as well. And the other perspective that we have on a global frequency is we have the Earth and the Moon in Gate 13, line 4, and this is in the line called fatigue. And Gate 13 is about being the listener, and that's listening to stories of people. And a lot of times, if you carry the energy of Gate 13, or even sometimes Gate 33, a lot of people will tell you their life story. Well, in a global perspective, we have this idea that there's a lot of stories that are overwhelming. Stories about people who are oppressed, stories about people who are still resilient and still carrying themselves with grace no matter what's happening. And that's based on the nodes that we're in right now, gate 47 and also gate 22. And for this particular full moon, they're in the second line, which basically says to get out of your head and into your body. In other words, social media, media of any kind, anything that is negative, even idle chit chat around that is negative, or you watch things on TV that are quite disturbing. You're watching the news and it's disturbing. A lot of things are happening in the world in on planet Earth right now, and they're not beautiful, and we know that. And so it could become overwhelming and too much. And this is where it says, okay, shut down the media, shut down whatever you need to shut down, go into your own space, go out in nature, do what feels good to you. And that's going to be the bomb that will sort of carry you through this energy. Right now is the time to catch your breath, to refill your energy tank so that if you're feeling depleted, that you get your strength back, you replenish yourself. There's a lot of busy things that are coming in the future, especially when we have gate 53 being activated in the global frequency. That's going to make a huge difference. And so this is a time to, as I said, step back from anything that is upsetting, or it's difficult to watch, that it drains you so much that it's almost impossible to continue on, and you just feel more low each day. So it is a time to really step into taking care of yourself. Self-care, very, very important at this particular time, because in the future, again, you'll need your energy if you are making these bold new beginnings. And lastly is the concept that with gate 13 in play, we have a lot of people who might have a hanging gate 33. And when that links up, this brings the energy for secrets to be revealed. And if you look at gate 13 as being a lock for the global cycle, and that the key is gate 61 line 1 is occult truth. So in other words, we might see some pretty interesting secrets being revealed to the collective for this full moon, and also sort of within the time a little bit before, a little bit after that. It will be probably very shocking. So we might get some secrets that are quite provocative, in nature. So that might be something that we see because we do have both Jupiter and also Venus in gate 39, which is the gate of provocation. And when we have Venus there, this could be provocative secrets about women. And with Jupiter there, it could be provocative secrets about the judicial system. It could be about people who are in spirituality. It could be people that are ruled by Jupiter, anything big, bold, Sagittarian energy. And also larger than life people might have some very provocative secrets being revealed about their lives. And we will see what happens. But with that said, I hope you have a wonderful full moon, and I will be back again soon. Until next time, take care and bye for now.